Welcome back to the channel. Let's tackle today's daily problem together. Today we are looking at a hard problem called Maximize Active Section with Trade 2. Before we dive in, please remember to drop a comment below if any part of this explanation confuses you. I read all the comments and I'll do my best to help clear things up for you. Here is the problem page. It has quite a few rules and variables, so let's break down exactly what it's asking us to do step by step. We are given a string made up entirely of zeros and ones. In this problem, a 1 represents an active section, and a 0 represents an inactive section. Our main goal is to maximize the number of active sections, which means we want as many ones as possible. To get more ones, the problem lets us perform exactly one special trade operation for each query we process. Trade happens in 2 steps. First, we take a contiguous block of ones that is completely trapped by zeros on both sides, and we turn all those ones into zeros. Immediately after that, for the second step, we find a block of zeros that is now trapped by ones on both sides, and we flip all of those zeros into ones. If you solve the prerequisite to this problem, you might remember a really neat mathematical trick. Performing this 2-step trade always results in a maximum gain equal to the length of 2 adjacent blocks of zeros combined. This means we don't actually have to simulate flipping any bits. The maximum active sections we can get is just the original count of ones in the string, plus the largest sum we can get by adding the lengths of any 2 neighboring blocks of zeros together. If we just had to do this once for the whole string, it would be easy. But the problem gives us a list of queries, where each query defines a specific left and right boundary. Each query acts like a window, isolating just a piece of the original string. We have to find the best trade only using the characters inside that window. This introduces a tricky problem. If a block of zeros crosses the edge of our query window, it gets cut off. We can only use the part of the block that falls inside the window. Luckily, any blocks of zeros that are completely inside the query window aren't affected at all. Their lengths stay exactly the same as they were in the original string. If we just manually scanned the substring and counted the 0 blocks for every single query, our code would run way too slow and give a time limit exceeded error. We need a faster way to find that maximum adjacent sum. Just a quick heads up, we'll be walking through the logic using Python to keep things clean. But don't worry, if you code in Java, C++, or JavaScript, I have the full working solutions for those languages at the end of the video. Here is our first approach. We will pre-calculate the lengths and positions of every block of zeros. Then, for each query, we can use binary search to quickly find which blocks got cut by the edges. Finally, we can use a segment tree to instantly find the maximum sum of the blocks trapped in the middle. Here is the code for the segment tree class exactly as shown in the problem editorial. It takes an array of numbers and lets us find the maximum value in any range very quickly. And here is the start of the main solution. First, we count the total ones. Then we loop through the string once to find every block of zeros, recording where it starts, where it ends, and how long it is. We also prepare an array called tempSum that stores the combined lengths of every pair of adjacent 0 blocks. For each query, we use binary search to find the first 0 block that overlaps our left edge, and the last 0 block that overlaps our right edge. We calculate their new chopped down lengths. Then we check 3 cases, combining the left block with its neighbor, combining the right block with its neighbor, or using the segment tree to find the best adjacent pair completely in the middle. We add the best gain to our ones count. Let's run a simple example to make this concrete. If our string is 00100, we have 1 active section and 2 0 blocks of length 2. Our tempSum array holds their combined length, which is 4. Since the query covers the whole string, no blocks get cut. We find the max gain is 4, add it to our 1 original active section, and return 5 as the max possible active sections. You might have noticed some early exit conditions in the code. We have to be careful with edge cases. If a query window contains 0 blocks of zeros, or just a single block of zeros, then no valid trade can be made at all. In our code, if the index of our left boundary block equals the index of our right boundary block, it means only 1 block exists in the window. We can't combine 2 blocks if we only have 1, so the best gain is 0, and we just return the original count of ones. If you want to test this code out yourself without retyping everything, you can go to the Leetcode unlocked link in the description. You can copy the code that is shown and explained in this video directly, and it helps support the channel. Now getting back to the explanation. Okay, now for the second method. The segment tree works great, but since our array of 0 block lengths never changes after we build it, we can actually use a data structure called a sparse table. This lets us look up the maximum value in any range instantly, in constant time. Here is the exact code for the sparse table from the editorial. It builds a table of maximums for ranges that are powers of 2. When we want to query a specific range, it finds the two largest overlapping power of 2 segments that cover our range, and returns the maximum of those 2 segments. The beauty of this approach is that the main logic stays exactly the same as approach 1. All we do is swap out the segment tree object for the sparse table object. Everything else, the binary search and the boundary math, works identically, just slightly faster on the lookups. For the sparse table approach, the time complexity is big O of n plus q log n. The log n factor comes from building the sparse table and running binary searches for every query. The space complexity is big O of n log n because the sparse table requires extra memory to store all those overlapping range maximums. So let's wrap it up with some key takeaways. First, always look for mathematical shortcuts instead of simulating complex rules. Second, when dealing with substring queries, pay close attention to how your boundaries cut your data. And finally, if you need to query ranges on an array that never changes, a sparse table is a fantastic tool. We are going to look at the other languages in just a second. But first I want to quickly say why this channel looks and sounds the way it does. You can probably tell this is narrated by AI. I actually built this for myself so I could generate clear, instant explanations the moment a daily problem drops to help myself learn. It helps me study faster, and I upload them here in case they help you too. I also changed the format recently to make it faster paced, so please leave some feedback in the comments on the video, and let me know if you like it, and don't forget to ask any questions you might have. I don't put ads in these videos, and I don't take any sponsorships. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Alright, that covers the Python solution. As promised, here are the full solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript. Instead of pausing and typing these out, you can just go to leetcodeunlocked.com via the link in the description to copy and paste the exact code directly. Here is the first part of the full solution in Java, implementing the sparse table. And here is the main logic for Java. As always, the full complete snippet is on the website. Next up, here is the C++ version of the sparse table. And here is the main solution logic for C++. And finally, here is the sparse table implementation in JavaScript, and the main function structure for JavaScript. Before we finish up, I want to mention I have another channel called Leetcode Unlocked. I'm on a mission to eventually post a solution for literally every single Leetcode problem on the platform. If you want to study problems outside of just the daily challenge, make sure to check it out. If you want to help support that goal of covering every problem, you can donate at buymeaboba.com/leetcodedaily. Also, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I post the daily Leetcode problem as soon as it comes out so you can get your streak done early. Keep coding, and I'll catch you in the next one.